Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back class 8 once again to the revision session of circulatory system. I had told you about the structure of the heart and the concerning blood vessels and the valves. Let's continue with the revision today also. So I had told you that blood contains four chambers, that is the right atrium and the left atrium and the right ventricle and the left ventricle, and the four main valves, that is the tricuspid valve, the bicuspid valve, and the two semilunar valve, the pulmonary valve and the aortic valve. So how is blood circulated in the body? Exactly how does this transport of the blood take place in the body? That is by the regular contraction and relaxation of the heart. But how this movement of blood takes place inside the heart and thereafter distributed to the different parts of the body? Now I told you that the blood receives the deoxygenated blood, the heart receives the deoxygenated blood to the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava. That is the right atrium receives the deoxygenated blood from the superior vena cava, that is receiving blood from the upper parts of the body, and the inferior vena cava which is bringing the deoxygenated blood from the parts which are below the heart, that is the inferior part of the body, that is below the parts of the body which are below the heart, the position of the organs which are below the heart, all of them are called as inferior in this respect. So inferior vena cava bring all the deoxygenated blood from there, and at the same time what is happening, the left atrium is receiving the oxygenated blood from the lungs, and that is being received through the pulmonary veins. Now you can see that both the right atrium and the left atrium are contracting simultaneously. Is that clear? That means this right atrium is receiving the deoxygenated blood and the left atrium is receiving the oxygenated blood from through the pulmonary veins. Is it clear? Now the right atrium contracts, the deoxygenated blood is pumped into the right ventricle. When this contraction takes place, this blood which is filled over here, the deoxygenated blood, is pumped further into the next chamber, that is the right ventricle. Is that clear? Simultaneously the left atrium also contract, and the oxygenated blood which was received by the pulmonary vein is pumped into the left ventricle. Is it clear? So first this got filled up when it was relaxing, both the right atrium and the left atrium, and then this contracted, the right atrium and the left atrium, both the chambers contracted, and the deoxygenated blood from the right atrium moved into the right ventricle, and the oxygenated blood from the left atrium moved on into the left ventricle. Is it clear? Now when the ventricles get completely filled with blood, here in the right side this is deoxygenated blood, and in the left side the oxygenated blood, then comes the role of the tricuspid and bicuspid valve. I told you the tricuspid valve is present between the right atrium and the left atrium. Is it clear? I had told the position of the tricuspid valve, that is present over here. This you can see. This is the tricuspid valve which is present between the right atrium and the left atrium, and the mitral valve or the bicuspid valve is present in the left atrium and the left ventricle. Now they close with a sound so that there is no backflow. The blood is not returned back to the chambers from where they have come. So this closes. Is that clear? Now semilunar valves also open at this time. Now is the turn for the semilunar valves to open. Now what happens? The next chamber, that is the chambers which have been filled up with blood. Here it is deoxygenated blood in the right ventricle and the oxygenated blood in the left ventricle. Is it clear? They are filled with blood, and both the semilunar valves, that is the pulmonary valve and the aortic valve, they open up. Is it clear? You can see the aortic valve over here and the pulmonary valve over here. Is that clear? They open now. Now what happens is that they open. Now what happens? The right ventricle contracts. When it has received the blood, now it is the time for it to contract. Due to this, the deoxygenated blood which is filled in the right ventricle, it is pumped into the pulmonary artery. I had told you that this is the only artery which carries deoxygenated blood, because arteries just carry oxygenated blood. So pulmonary artery, that is the artery which carries the deoxygenated blood. Is that clear? Now the right ventricle pumps this blood into the right ventricle pumps this blood into the pulmonary artery. Now what happens? The pulmonary artery transports this deoxygenated blood to the lungs. Now the transport of this, whatever blood was here, this goes into the, this pumps it into the lungs. I'll show the diagram just now. And this lungs, these lungs do what? Oxygenate, that is give oxygen to this blood. Is that clear? And the blood becomes oxygenated now. Is it clear? Now blood has become oxygenated. Now the left ventricle contracts, this ventricle, this ventricle contracts now. Whatever blood, oxygenated blood is there, it is pumped into the aorta. This is the largest artery of the body. This is pumped into the aorta. And the aorta does what? It transports the blood or distributes the blood to all the parts of the body. You can see there are different branches, different arteries which have broken up from the aorta, and this blood is distributed to different parts of the body. So now what is happening is the blood is being pumped from the heart. The blood moves with high pressure because it has to reach all the parts of the body. Now when blood moves out of the ventricle, the semilunar valves close with a sound again. Now sound is heard when the tricuspid and the bicuspid valve close, and then sound is again heard when the semilunar valve, that is the pulmonary valve, and the aortic valve close. Is that clear? Now what happens is that the chambers of the heart relax. They get filled with blood again now. And when the chambers of the heart contract, blood is pushed out of them. I have told you how this contraction pushes out the blood, whether it is the contraction of the auricles or the atrium. Then what is happening of the two atria? Then the blood is pumped into the ventricle, and when the two ventricle contract, then the blood is pushed further into the pulmonary artery and into the aorta. Is it clear? So both the atria contract and relax together. Similarly, both the ventricles contract and relax together. Now the contraction of the atria is followed by the contraction of the ventricles, and contraction of then the relaxation of the atria is followed by the relaxation of the ventricle. Is that clear? So contraction and relaxation take place in a rhythmic manner. Is that clear? Not all of them after a particular interval of time, they repeat themselves. Is that clear? And when it is being done, it is together for atria and together for ventricles. Is it clear? Now this type of circulation is called as double circulation. Is it clear? This is called as double circulation. Why it is called as double circulation? Now we have seen that blood circulates twice through the heart to complete one round of circulation through the body. I have told you it is circulating twice through the heart, and this blood circulation in humans is therefore called as double circulation. Now it involves the pulmonary circuit, that is the pulmonary circulation, and the systemic circulation or systemal circuit. Is that clear? Now what is pulmonary circulation? Is the circulation of blood between the heart and the lungs. Pulmonary means concerned with the lungs. Is that clear? So this circulation is between the heart and the lungs. Then a blood flows from the right ventricle to the lungs. I have told you just now. It gets oxygenated and returns to the left atrium by the pulmonary vein. Is it clear? So I have already shown this to you. That is how the blood is being carried from the right atrium into the left right ventricle, and then from left atrium into the left ventricle. But here we are concerned about the pulmonary circulation, that is, it is flowing from the right ventricle to the lungs, and which get oxygenated and return to the left atrium by the pulmonary vein. Is it clear? So you can see over here that how this why this is known as pulmonary circulation. From the right ventricle it is flowing to the where is it flowing? That is into the pulmonary artery, and then the pulmonary artery, which is carrying the deoxygenated blood, is carrying the blood to the lungs. You can see the capillary of the heart, which make the blood oxygenated, and this oxygenated blood moves on from the pulmonary vein into the left atrium. Is it clear? So this is known as pulmonary circulation. Now I have also told you that now whatever circulation of blood is from the between the heart and the other organs of the body, it is known as the systemic circulation. The oxygenated blood, it flows from the left ventricle to the different parts of the body through the aorta, and then that is returned back from the body, that is to the vena cava, back to the heart. That is known as systemic circulation. Is it clear? So this is known as systemic circulation. Now the muscles of the heart and the walls of the chambers of the heart contracts and relax in a rhythmic manner. I have told you how the two right auricles and the two right ventricle are contracting and relaxing. Two ventricle and the two auricles are contracting and relaxing, and you can when the valves are closing, whether be it the two semilunar valves or whether be it the tricuspid and bicuspid valve together, you can hear a characteristic sound by the closure of these valves. So they produce a sound, I have told you, and this sound is lumped up, and this sound is called the heartbeat. Is that clear? So this heartbeat of an adult person while resting is it is 72 to 80 beats per minute. Is that clear? This is 72 to 80 beats per minute, and this increases when we do some physical activity. We are climbing the stairs, or we are running or cycling or playing badminton, playing football, playing cricket. Then our heartbeat increases, just because the amount of oxygen that will be needed will be more. And we can hear this heartbeat sound when we place our hand on the left side of our chest. Is that clear? Now the doctors listen to it by an instrument which is called as the stethoscope. You all have already seen it, and a doctor gets the clues about the condition of the heart by listening to this heartbeat. So a faster heartbeat indicates fever or hypertension, and lower heartbeat indicates poor health, that the person is not keeping good health. Is that clear? Is not healthy enough. Then the pulse rate. Next is the pulse rate, that is blood enters the artery due to the contraction of ventricles. I have already told you, and this sudden inflow of blood at high pressure causes the expansion of the walls of the arteries. Is that clear? And this can be felt as a throbbing in the arteries that lie close to the skin. This is called the pulse. Now you can where other places where you can hear this pulse is the inner wrist is the commonest place you can see over here, and then temple, the region of the face that lies on the either side of the head, both the sides, the temple. And then you can see at the side of the neck also it can be felt, and then here, over here. Is that clear? And then a resting person has the same pulse rate as the heartbeat, that is 72 to 80 beats per minute. And again this also increases whenever we do any physical activity like cycling, running, walking, jumping. jogging, swimming, all these, and climbing the stairs, this also increases. Now, when the blood flows in the arteries, it exerts certain amount of pressure on the walls of the arteries, and this pressure is called as the blood vessel. You can see how the blood is flowing, and this pressure there is some force being exerted on the walls, and this is known as the blood pressure. Is it clear? So this is 120 by 80 in a normal human being, 120 by 80 mm of Hg, this is the unit, and the instrument that is used is the sphygmomanometer. Is that clear? So this is the blood pressure, that is normal blood pressure in a healthy human being. Then there are certain conditions related to the functioning of the heart, and these conditions we have already discussed. That is the palpitation, that is feeling of rapid heartbeat, skipping of beat often, and this may be often harmless, but at times it may also indicate a serious condition of the heart, that is heart needs a checkup, there is some problem with the heart. So we generally feel stressed out, we have anxiety, we are confused, or at times these are the causes, right? That is when we are having a lot of stress, we have strained ourselves, we have having some tension, or we are having anxiety because of anything, then we have palpitation, we feel that the heart is beating very fast, that we have a heartbeat has become very fast, or because of because of too much consumption of coffee or tea. Then at times also in fever and pregnancy, palpitation might be there. Then symptoms are quick and irregular beating of heart, then chest pain. If they are very severe, then fainting can also occur. So we should avoid stress and anxiety and indulge in regular exercise, and also avoid too much of caffeine. So this is all for today. We will take up the rest of the chapter in the next session, inshallah. Allah Hafiz.